know the story of the game. It's not like I've played it before, which I have. Silly game. Thinking that I don't know the actual game itself. Sorry, I had to do that. Just, doing something here before we start this. Anyway, welcome everyone to a review of a game called Ninja Gaiden Sigma. Came out 2007. It's technically a remaster, or not really a remaster. It's more of like a retelling of like the trilogy of Ninja Gaiden on the NES. It first came out in 2004 as Ninja Gaiden, and later it was I wouldn't really say remade because it's almost the same game as Ninja Gaiden in 2004, but it adds a lot to it, so it's more of its own thing. So this is Ninja Gaiden Sigma. Of course, this will be brought back by the team that made the game, Koei Tomo Games, back in 2021. It was remastered into the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection. Both 1, 2, and 3 were all put into the game, or into like a collection, as you would say. And yes, I have the whole collection, so I have each game. So, I'm gonna be going over, game history, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, the score, that type of thing. So, let's talk about the game history itself. Oh, we're going to a demo. Okay. So, Ninja Gaiden Sigma came out, like I said, the year 2014, but really 2007, on June 4th, 2007. And if you guys want to know, yeah, I did beat the game. It is hard as hell. So, Ninja Gaiden Sigma, like I said, June 14, 2007, Xbox, PS3, PS Vita as well at the time, which is insane to think about it. If people want to know what the game is, it is a hack and slash. Now, when I mean hack and slash, I mean games like God of War, the original, and 2 and 3 is more what I mean for that game. And so, let's talk about Ninja Gaiden's positives. So, Ninja Gaiden Sigma's positives. First up, the characters. It's a positive, huge positive. You'll play as Ryu Hayabusa, Master Ninja Warrior. You are tasked, this is also another positive, the plot of the game. So as Ryu, you are tasked to find the legendary Dragon Blade and the Eye of the Dragon, so that you can combine them to complete the Dark Dragon Blade. The Dark Dragon Blade is basically the all-powerful weapon of the world. And of course, it's trying to fall into villain hands. So Ryu has to go out and get back the blade and the Dragon Eye to finally get the Dark Dragon Blade. So along the way, I won't spoil the whole game. So along the way, Ryu has to help out with his clan, as he lives with the clan. His uncle is the clan's leader, and he is the first boss of the game. I'll talk about difficulty and stuff later, because I know that's a big topic on the game. So, like I said, other characters in the game, other than just Ryu. 1 second here. So, of course, you have Ryu Hayabusa. You have Ryu's uncle, they call him kind of his father in this, by calling him his uncle, because it kind of works more like that. You have a mysterious girl named, I believe Rachel was her name. You play as her in some chapters. And you have Shopkeeper as well, and all the enemies, and the evil dragon himself, the final boss type of thing. Like I said, won't spoil the game story because the final boss is completely different than what it actually was in 04. Now, now we go to the big positive, which is the best part of this. The gameplay. Holy crap, the gameplay is awesome. This is what you call a game that makes you feel like a ninja. As Ryu, you are of course a ninja. So, you get high speeds, you get wall jumping. Not just any type of wall jumping where you just go left, right. No, you can do what is called a run-up wall jump. So, example, you have a wall in front of you that you need to run up and jump off of to do like a backflip onto another platform. So, that's what you can do. You can run up the wall, pop off halfway up the wall to do a backflip onto the other platform, which is awesome. I love that. You can do wall runs, which is running on the side of the wall. You can use that to chain into wall jumps, which I find amazing. So yes, you can chain wall jumps in this game, but also what's really cool is you can chain wall jumps into a dive attack. So say like you have an enemy on the ground and you're trying to, or like on top, and you're trying to do wall jumps. You can jump off the wall, so it's like the final wall jump, and you can dive attack right on him, which is so cool. I love that. So, of course, as a ninja, Ryu also comes with his own sword, and that is used mainly as your main combat tool, his sword, which has a lot of amazing and awesome tricks and combos with it. For example, you can do charge attacks. The different color of the charge attack means different damage. Blue is more of like a decapitation. So if enemies are low in health, you throw out the blue charge, you're going to decapitate people. If you throw out the red charge, so you charge it for longer, you do a more highly massive combo. It's 6 hits or 5 hits, but on the last hit, you can aim the camera at a certain angle, or you can hit more people with it. Very powerful combo. It's a brilliant thing to have in the game. It is very helpful for lots of enemies, especially the armored ones. Screw the armored enemies in this game. Wooden sword is better. Certain cases, yes, but in Ryu Hayabusa's case, it is not, because he actually uses the real sword. So, anyway, with Ryu, like I said, charge moves, dive attacks, you can buy other upgrades for your combos and stuff, like, for example, counterattacks, you can kick throw people, DT throw, which is basically throwing people over your head into other enemies, and then you have the most brilliant move in the game to buy, the Accuser drop, which is you throw someone in the air and you drive them into the ground. That is very helpful. It does splash damage for some reason to everyone around you unless they have armor. So it's very helpful when you're dealing with lots of groups of enemies, which you'll see that a lot in this game. Especially in the later chapters. They'll have to throw you rushes of enemies out of nowhere. That also helps during the challenges when you're doing stuff to get the life of 1,000 gods, which is how you get health upgrades in this game. So that is very helpful to use the Accuser drop. You also have magic in this, so you have ice, fire, those types of things, and wind. Of course, you know, usual physics in games when it comes to elemental attacks. Fire, like, damages certain people when it comes to ice and water and stuff, that type of thing. I don't have to explain elements. It's in every game now. That's not a sports game. But, because probably need to, fire in this game is more of a shield. The wind is what you'd expect. Does defensive upgrade to yourself, which is weird, but it also pushes enemy back on your attacks, which is awesome. I won't go over the ice because that's complicated. Now, I'll talk about mixed. The one big mixed part of this game. So this is both a good and bad part. Difficulty. This game's difficulty is very hard. Simply put or fact, you play this on the easiest difficulty, it's basically normal. The normal difficulty in this game is hard, okay? Just normal alone in this is hard. And that's and you can basically tell it's hard off the first level. There's a few enemies in the first level in the game, basic enemies that are easy, that are like a little tougher to deal with because they'll throw you little simple groups of them at you. But it's when you get more near the first level boss where it gets hard. Like I said, enemies rush you in this game. They do not care. They will kill you at any cost. So they'll throw groups at you. They'll have enemies with armor. They'll have people with throwing shurikens at you or do highly damageable grab attacks. There's one thing you can't counter in this game. Do not counter a grab attack, which sucks. But you can immediately tell the game's hard when you reach that. If that's not hard to you, then the first level boss is when the game goes really hard. The first level boss of this game is Ryu's uncle, who is the clan's member. He's your first boss in this game. And my god, is he tough. He is considered one of the toughest bosses for an opening level in video game history. He is so challenging. Like, this game pulls out all the stops early. They want to, like, make you feel like you're a master ninja. Oh yeah. You definitely feel like that when you fight the first boss. There's so much you gotta do to beat this dude. That first boss, you gotta do, like, blocks. You gotta know when to attack. You gotta know when to dodge roll. You gotta know when to sidestep. You gotta know when to attack. You gotta know when to do certain things. Also, you can't use magic during that boss. So that's another thing you can't do. And the dude can just chain combos. So if he hits you with a combo and you get right up from that, he can just chain you to another combo if you don't dodge it. Or block it. The dude also has unblockable attacks, which does not help during the boss. But once you kind of know the controls of the game and you know how to dodge attacks and block, it gets easier. It's still hard as heck, but at least it's not that challenging once you get more of the hang of the controls and what to do. So like I said, difficulty, again, rushes you with everything. They want to make sure that you feel like a master. They want you to feel like you're playing a super hard game. I compare this game to be harder than any Souls game to come out. That's how hard this game is. And this is the hardest of the series. Like, 2 and 3 aren't, like, as hard as 1, I find. Because I've beaten 2 and 3 before, and I didn't die a lot in 2 and 3. 3 is the easiest in my opinion. But this, I died a ton. There's a lot of times when you will die in this game. And it's thanks to the biggest negative of this game. The camera. The camera in this game is awful. The camera is a complete ass. There are times when you will enter a room from a door and the camera is pointing at the door while you have enemies near the other side of the room so you cannot see them. So, screw you, camera, for not picking up on the enemies. The camera is also not that big in this game, so you can't see everything. And, again, like the door thing I said earlier, the camera angles, they'll change rapidly. So, you could be standing in one area and the camera might be behind you. Next thing you know, you step into a different spot, the camera is facing towards you, and so you can't see anything in front of you. And there are times when you need to see behind you, and you can't. Because the camera's too far left, or too far to the right. Or it locks itself in one place. So, that is one thing that I wish they would have fixed, if they had the chance to, is that damn camera. It is such a pain in this game. That, and the room, like the areas of certain rooms when you fight enemies. There's parts in the game where you fight large groups of enemies in small, cramped rooms. There's even times when you fight enemies in rooms that have trap doors and explosives in them if you're not careful. Especially explosive barrels in the 3rd chapter in the airship. When you get into the cargo spot of that ship, there are explosive barrels everywhere. You gotta be careful. Because one explosive barrel can almost take away all your health. That's how damaging those damn barrels are in enemies. So really, that's really the only complaints I have with the game is just those. Just those complaints, you know, the whole camera in the room setup for enemies. Like, it just doesn't make sense to have that. The shop's cool, like I said earlier. The gameplay is amazing. The story's cool. The characters are fun. For a game that came out in 2007, and which is technically kind of a remaster of a game that came out in 2004, that was technically a remaster or a retelling of a game that came out in the 90s or 80s, it did a great job, I will say. Especially, even though it's so hard, it did a great job at capturing what or how a ninja is, and it wants you to feel like a ninja. A master ninja. That's what the game just basically wants you to feel like. A master ninja. So, there we go. That's Ninja Gaiden Sigma 1. I'll definitely do reviews on 2 and 3, because I like both of them too. And on the scale of 1 to 10 for Ninja Gaiden Sigma, I'll give Ninja Gaiden Sigma a 8.3, 8.4 out of 10 on the scale. Like I said, if you can get past the control flaws, the camera, and the room stuffiness things, and the difficulty, you got yourself a fun, great game to play. Is it hard? Yes, it's definitely hard. It's harder than most or all of the Souls games. But it succeeds at its mission, which is basically tell you the story of Ryu Hayabusa and to feel like a true master ninja. I mean, that's what it kind of was like in 07. Now it's 2023. Now apparently everyone wants to feel like it's crazy. And the world's about to end at some point. Ugh. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was the game review of the 2007, the 2007 Ninja Gaiden Sigma. This is the version that I have loaded up, is the 2021 Master Collection version of Ninja Gaiden Sigma. So that's why it looks a little bit better than the 2007 version. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed the review of Ninja Gaiden Sigma, a game that I consider to be the hardest game I ever played, and I've played all the Souls games. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the review, and we will see you on the next stream. See you later.